Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back in here today with an article from the Washington Free Beacon. This is dated October 31st, so Halloween. And it's not a spooky story, it is just one that made me kind of just throw up in my mouth because this dude is a freaking traitor. That would be Chuck Schumer. The article is entitled, Best Strategy is to Keep Heads Down. Schumer advised Columbia's leaders to ignore anti-Semitism backlash, saying their problems are really only among Republicans. It says House Ed Committee, I don't know, is that education? Okay, it must be. House Education Committee report reveals Schumer correspondence with Shafiq, stunning lack of accountability by university leaders. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. So Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York, quietly advised Columbia University's leaders to keep heads down and ignore congressional criticism of the school's handling of campus anti-Semitism, telling former university president Minouche Shafiq that the school's political problems are really only among Republicans, according to a new White House Committee on Education and the Workforce report. And I wonder why you haven't heard this story out there really a lot in the mainstream press is because, well, Democrats are just blocking it from getting out there, but it should absolutely be because this is pretty damning. It says the committee's 300-page report stems from more than a year of interviews and over 400,000 pages of internal documents produced by elite schools like Columbia, Harvard University, Yale University, Northwestern University, and the University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA. It says it demonstrates by producing the private emails and text messages of university leaders how they failed to protect Jewish students and still aren't, quite frankly, and as anti-Semitic terror or anti-Semitic mobs seized on their campuses in the wake of Hamas's October 7th terror spree. It also reveals that Schumer advised Shafiq to tune out the criticism she was receiving from House Republicans, because that was going to be good advice. The Shafiq, who resigned from her post in August amidst a series of anti-Semitism scandals that roiled the school, texted Board of Trustees co-chairs David Greenwald and Claire Shipman in January to inform them that she had met with Schumer. The top Senate Democrat, according to text messages obtained by the committee, advised Shafiq that universities' political problems are really only among Republicans and recommended the best strategy is to keep heads down. Nice guy, so just ignore them, ignore the anti-Semitism. Chuck, hate to break it to you, but you're Jewish, and, well, the same people, I think they've already gone after you, if I remember correctly, and they're going to keep doing it just by the fact that you're Jewish. You're effectively one of the chickens for KFC right now, buddy. So it says, when asked, Schumer and his staff indicated they did not believe it was necessary for the university's leaders to meet with Republicans, the report states. Greenwald echoed this, writing in response, if we are keeping our head down, maybe we shouldn't meet with Republicans. In the text published in the report, Shafiq identifies Schumer as very positive and supportive and quite the storyteller. And, okay, yeah, these are the messages then right there, that embedded picture. Scrolling down, this days later, text messages show Greenwald sent his predecessor, Jonathan Levine, a New York Times article on the committee's aggressive and expansive investigation into institutions of higher education. It says, let's hope the Dems win the House back, Levine wrote. Absolutely, Greenwald responded in another embedded picture there. It says Schumer's private assessment differed from the public one he offered months later when anti-Israel students launched the encampment that took over Columbia's Morningside Heights campus and eventually led to the violent storming of a campus building. At that point, in late April, Schumer criticized the protesters' lawlessness. It says the text from the Shafiq and her board co-chairs, the committee wrote in its report, show that university leaders viewed anti-Semitism as a PR issue rather than a campus problem. Well, that was a miscalculation, I must say. Says neither Columbia nor Schumer immediately responded to requests for comment. Yeah, of course, they're not going to. So, yeah. As the report underscores what has long been known about the anti-Israel protest movement on college campuses across the country, that it was permitted to operate unabated in flagrant violation of university policies, culminating in widespread encampments and pro-Hamas demonstrations. But it also shows that university officials were afraid from the drop of offending Muslim and pro-Palestinian students on campus, tailoring their statements in the wake of October 7th. So, yeah, let's support the terrorist supporters. Yeah, let's do that. It says, at Harvard, for example, the university's top administrators and deans excised language from a university statement that would have condemned Hamas's terrorist attack. A draft of the statement ultimately issued by the university and obtained by the committee shows former Harvard University president Claudine Gay's chief of staff, Katie O'Dare, and another senior university administrator, Mark Goodhart, debating the matter. They ultimately decided against it. In the months that followed, Harvard Corporation senior fellow Penny Pritzker, I think that is J.B. Pritzker's sister, wife, She is one of the Pritzkers, though, obviously, asked the university to address anti-Semitic slogans such as "From the River to the Sea," which advocates Israel's destruction. Then President Claudine Gay, who resigned in disgrace amid outrage over her failure to stem campus hatred and accusations of plagiarism in her academic work, and her successor, Alan Garber, privately urged Pritzker not to label the phrase anti-Semitic, according to the report. Well, it quite literally is. You're calling for the destruction of the only Jewish state? Yeah, that's called anti-Semitism, you morons. Says Gay expressed concern that if Harvard recognized the phrase as anti-Semitic speech, it would raise questions about why the university was not imposing discipline for its use. The report also shows that alumni wrote to Gay expressing concern in the wake of a Washington Free Beacon report about the assault of an Israeli student during an anti-Israel protest, noting Harvard's tolerance of violent hate speech toward Jews versus the likely reaction to such behavior directed at other ethnic groups. Harvard never took disciplinary action against the students captured on video, accosting their classmate. Though the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office has slapped 2 of them with criminal charges, an investigation the university has not cooperated with. So, yeah, they're definitely the bad guys in this situation. It says all the schools investigated by the House Committee likely violated Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which mandates protections of minorities such as Jews, according to the report. The committee's investigation has revealed a total failure by school leadership in holding students accountable for violations of school privacy and the law. It concluded, the committee collected disciplinary data from 11 schools, 6 of which failed to suspend a single student despite extensive documentary evidence of anti-Semitic harassment, unlawful encampments, and other acts of misconduct. This is at every school investigated by the committee, the overwhelming majority of students facing disciplinary action for anti-Semitic harassment or other violations of policy received only minimal discipline, the report states. At some schools, such as Columbia and Harvard, radical faculty members worked to prevent disciplinary action from being taken against students who violated official policies and even the law. As the pro-Hamas encampments on campus became a hotbed of anti-Semitic furor, violating university rules, the leadership at Columbia, Northwestern, Rutgers University, and others gave in to the mobs. You're supposed to be the adults, people. These are children, okay? Or I should say not like children, but you know what I mean. Like, you're the adults. You tell them to stop, and hopefully they do. If not, there's something called police. You have them arrested and make sure that there's a black mark on their record permanently. At Columbia, for instance, the students who engaged in the criminal takeover of a university building were allowed to evade accountability. Columbia's leaders also offered greater concessions to encampment organizers than they publicly acknowledged. Yeah, we did something wrong, and we're about to get rewarded for being the bad guys. So at Northwestern, a cadre of radical faculty members were put in charge of negotiating with their own ideological allies in that campus's encampment, leading to a stunning capitulation to the encampment's leaders' demands. At Rutgers, protesters faced no consequences for an encampment that disrupted exams for more than 1,000 students. And at UCLA, the leadership was unwilling to directly confront a violent anti-Semitic encampment, even when anti-Semitic checkpoints denied Jewish students access to areas of campus. And I believe that itself is a civil rights violation. But yeah, so Chuck Schumer, you're a traitor to your own people. How about that? So anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.